25 years ago was the last Backyard BBQ, David Wecker.
I feel like I blinked, but in another way, it seems I wish it had been much longer.
You still have that butler, that guy, what was his name?
Testicles. He was my houseboy, just as immature as ever, and he takes great delight in surprising me in different ways just around the house. He'll jump out and attack me, and it keeps me sharp. That's the thing I like about him. He manages my schedule, takes calls for me, handles the little details of life that I don't want to be bogged down with. I broke my arms. There's nothing else I can do right now but do this. So I came back in. I had a bit of an accident.
I didn't want to bring it up.
Well, you can see the casts.
Yeah. Well, what in the world happened?
Well, this is one of the things I do myself. I like to work on my vehicle myself.
You have all the money in the world. Why would you?
It's just something I enjoy.
You mean oil change? Or?
Oil change, anything. If the transmission needs tinkering. I like to tinker. I'm a bloke. In addition to the nude gardening that I do, is working on my vehicles. I've got several, and I don't trust mechanics. These are some high-priced Italian sports cars.
Well, what happened?
It was a horrible accident. I had the Maserati jacked up, and I was just taking a look underneath, just a maintenance. You take care of a stitch in time, I believe. And I had 4 different jacks, and Karen, my wife, who is a Karen, but that's not all bad.
What's a Karen? I hear this all the time. Yeah. Nobody's ever defined it.
I think it's my understanding is, I can't believe that I have to tell you these things. A Karen is a woman who is not afraid to assert herself. And if she sees something wrong, she will speak up. While I was kind of hunkering down, getting under the undercarriage of maybe it was the Porsche. She leaned against the car, and I think that's what caused it to slip off the jacks.
Oh.
And I had my arms crossed, like sort of in the way that when you see people in caskets. They are, with their arms crossed, and it snapped both of my arms in 27 places. It shattered my arms.
So they were crushed.
They were crushed. Yeah. So that's why I have these casts, and it's a bit awkward.
Well, let's stop right there.
I might need some help in the bathroom at break time. Look, I'm doing you a huge favor coming in here like this.
Well, okay,
there are other things I could be doing, if you don't mind.
Okay. And
so the least you can do is help me in the men's room if the occasion arises.
So the whole weight of the car is on top of you.
Yeah.
Did you say anything at that moment? Were you able to breathe?
Yeah. She said, "Look, I can't take any responsibility for this. This is you evidently jacked this vehicle up improperly." And I said, "No, if you're trying to pin this on me, I'm not taking responsibility for it." And but as I say, she's a Karen. She went back into the house, and I evidently.
How were you able to get out from under the car?
Testicles came out.
Your friend.
And he was distraught. First, he asked me for the number to 911. I said, "All right, it's exactly that. The question answers itself, okay?" And he said, "Well, where's your phone?" I said, "It's in the car." So he jumped into the car, and he's not a small lad. He's about 350 pounds. He was able to get the phone, but it further crushed my arms in a few more places. But
so how did you get out from underneath the car? Did you wait until the emergency personnel showed up?
The emergency personnel showed up. Yeah, he rolled down the driver's side window, and he said, "He's under there. Please hurry. Please hurry." And they had the jaws of life, and they were able to extricate me.
But no internal injuries, though, right?
Well, I had to have a complete spleen inversion. That's where they remove your spleen and invert it, and then.
Well, what's the purpose of doing that?
Just to make sure it's all right. Because a lot of times your spleen can be reversed. And another thing that happened is that the radiator fell out, and I was wearing my sandals, and my feet were up that way, and the radiator on a Porsche is very sharp. It's razor sharp. And it amputated my toes. It was like a guillotine on both of my feet.
So you have no toes.
Well, no, I was able to get them surgically replaced. What I can't do is rollerblade. And that's a passion of mine. I loved rollerblade. I sense that you're amused by my misfortune.
No,
I see how you're looking at me. Better him than me.
It's getting to be ridiculous.
Well, I know what it's like to get into those projects and make a big mistake. And, we've got this chandelier, this big, heavy chandelier. This thing must weigh about 150 pounds. And I decided I was going to dust it.
Not crystal.
Glass, not crystal, no. It was just regular glass, nothing really fancy, but hanging high up over
glass breaks.
The foyer, yes. Well, I'm up on almost the top rung of the ladder, and I'm spinning this thing so that I can
have access to it, so you can dust
spinning it
Yeah.
while I'm dusting.
That's one of the things I have testicles to at home with the crystal chandelier.
I hope he does a better job than me, because when I was spinning it, I didn't realize that I was loosening it.
You were unscrewing it.
Yeah. And so all of a sudden, this thing comes loose from the ceiling into my arms.
Completely loose.
Yes, into my arms. So
now,
it's like a barrel-sized piece of glass, hollow in the center.
Now let me get the picture here. So are you on the top rung of the ladder or on the very top step of the ladder?
I went to the top step. I'm hugging this as I'm standing on the top of this ladder. This thing is heavy.
Is there a balance issue starting to?
Oh, is there? And I'm talking myself through this, saying, you can do this. You can hold on, because what's the choice? At that point, either I fall backward or I let go of this glass barrel.
And then you fall.
And then I fall.
Fall onto glass shards.
Yes. And I'm the only one at home at this time. So.
Don't you have a dog?
No, there was nobody there. I don't have a dog. Nobody there.
Did you summon some assistance on your cell phone?
No, I couldn't. I was holding on for dear life. I couldn't grab anything. I was holding on for dear life, frozen, not able to move.
The nightmare scenario.
And so I had to make a decision. I'm holding on, and somehow I was able to compose myself and walk down each step with that thing, holding on to nothing but that barrel.
How much does it weigh?
About 150 pounds. I would say
that's
100.
A lot.
It was a lot.
So that's about the weight of a garbage can filled with bricks.
Basically, yeah. And if I had fallen off that ladder, I would have fallen on my back with that thing on top.
And you would have been skewered.
Well, skewered or crushed or both. I don't know.
But you made it all the way down the ladder.
I made it all the way down that ladder by myself, all the way to the bottom step, set it down. I was like Superman. I'm telling you, Dave, I'll say that was probably, other than having a drill hit me on the top of the head, a power drill that fell off the top rung of a ladder. You know what? I've had some bad luck with ladders.
Yeah.
It was removed safely. We ended up getting a new chandelier. We gave the chandelier to our son, and now it's hanging in their house, so it all worked out for the best.
Oh, and that's why I love it when it all works, and it always does.
Yeah. So in this case, no embarrassment. Nobody got hurt. Close call. I proved under the
duress.
I'll say.
Did you finish dusting off the chandelier?
I'm just glad that I was able to survive it.
What were the thoughts that ran through your mind as you're descending the ladder, trying your best not to lose your balance? The only thing that would have added any more suspense to this is if the ladder had somehow been set in a pool full of piranhas. You didn't have anything like that going on.
No, actually, I'm very surprised at how calm and cool I was.
Huh? Well.
I really was. And so that gave me some confidence to know that if it really hits the fan, I hope I can be that same way, because it was one small step at a time. I mean, I don't know, what are the, maybe 10 steps on that ladder. And you just take it real. I just said, just go slow, concentrate on each step, get to the bottom of this thing.
Very methodical.
It was. And there was so much on the line, not only physical harm, but that glass on the floor would have been the most outrageous mess that you can ever.
And a bloody mess. Because
it would have been a bloody mess.
You would have been in ribbons.
Yeah, yeah. You remember Dick Von Hain?
Do I? Oh, sure. He was a
radio guy, a DJ kind of a guy who created this character called the Cool Ghoul, and he was on, I guess it was Channel 19 or Channel 64. I don't know what it was.
It was one of the independent. I think it was 19.
Yeah. It was kind of just this wacky character who had all this makeup on. He actually did an album. I just remember those wacky TV kind of characters who were on late night or would introduce movies and do that kind of stuff in the 60s and 70s. Yeah. And I mean, there was Ghoulardi. There
in
were
Cleveland.
There were all kinds of these characters around the country who would introduce late night movies, and they would be in and out of the commercial breaks, and people would watch them, like Bob Shreve, fabulous guy, really funny. On Cincinnati late night TV. And it was a fairly inexpensive kind of programming to do. I mean, you had one guy and you had a bunch of
fairly inexpensive.
Yeah, fairly. Well, anyway, Von Hain did this show, and he was always known as the Cool Ghoul, but as time went on, that wore out, and he had to find other things to do. But
he never was that scary.
No, it wasn't. He
was played for the broad laugh.
That's him. And but later
for the listeners, let me do it one more time so they can record it if they want.
All right.
Okay, give them a second to get their recording devices. You can record on your phone. Here it goes.
Von Hain, later years, became...
do you want to get back to the subject? Okay.
The host of... What was it, Northern Kentucky Spotlight or something like that? He did a talk show on Storer Cable in Northern Kentucky.
It was a cable show, so that was maybe not the zenith of his career.
No, it was toward the end of it. Yeah. And so, but I mean, it was a paycheck, and
he did, and he was beloved.
He was. People really loved him, but we thought. It would be fun to have him up to talk about, because there was a nostalgic tone to our show. At least I felt that way. I just always thought, okay, well, let's have up some people like a Dick Von Hain. So he came up to the show on a Saturday, and we decided that we would shoot golf balls off the roof in Mount Adams.
I love doing that.
Yeah, and Dick is an avid golfer and just a fun guy, and you had pictures of martinis,
all set, big glass bowls of any kind of cigarette you could want, because I wanted Dick to feel welcome and comfortable
he did
at home.
And I could tell he was having a lot of fun. We had the binoculars, and we were able to spot people, celebrities. You know, we're always picking on celebrities, and we were able to spot some driving or in an office in a downtown tower.
Several of whom are no longer with us.
Right.
Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
Marge Schott.
Some of the people we picked on no longer with us. Not so funny now, is it, Wecker?
No, I think it's just as funny as it ever was. But we heard from their attorneys. But
sure. Chuck Ingram, who was our caddy.
The toe.
Yeah. So this is January 20th, 1996.
That's the previous century, my man.
Dick Von Hain on the Backyard BBQ, Reflux.
"'Tis some ghoul," I faintly muttered, screaming to his heart's delight. "Merely this, a fiendish sight."
Takes two, so stick around until 11 o'clock, okay?
the clubs outside now. I made another pitcher. This was, I think, our third pitcher. I'm losing count here. Here, let me tee you up. Let's let Dick Von Hain take the first swing here and see what happens.
Now, you said something about there is...
Oh, beautiful shot. Wait, let's see. Boy. Let me get the binoculars. Let's see. It's Jerry Springer. He's wrapped in a sheet. He's standing at the window. Oh, well, anyway, you were saying. Let me tee you up.
That's really a sweet swing you've got.
Is that a sheet or a toga?
Yeah, I don't know. Here's the binoculars. You take a look.
I thought it was an inverted tent.
Yeah. Look at that. Oh, my.
No.
Who is that woman? Well, let me tee you up. Let's go on with the conversation. I'll pour you all a martini and another martini, and then it'll be your turn in a few minutes, man.
Let's go back to when you started the show. You guys had a huge audience. You had the biggest audience of any local TV show here.
Yep.
That would make sense if it was local. It was here.
Right. Any local TV show in America.
Did you go to UC too?
He went to X.
Oh.
And that's how he signs his name.
Yeah, sure. A musketeer. I didn't know that. You didn't tell me before inviting me on this show.
So anyway, you had the hugest audience. The hugest?
That was the hugest. It was the most awesomest, most hugest, most humongous audience ever.
Well, it's all right. There's a lot of drinking going on here, folks, so don't worry about it. Just don't.
Let me tee you up.
Okay,
Can
Matt,
I go?
Go ahead. It's your turn.
I'm gonna head it over toward.
Whoa! Beautiful. A little bit of a hook. Oh! Yeah. Who is that? It's Jack Leatherton in there. In goddamn Leatherton's house.
And he's dressed in leather. That's why they call him Jack Leatherton.
Right, head to toe. The leather pants with a butt cut out.
Gee, I thought that was fake.
So it's let me tee up. You guys go ahead and talk. I want to concentrate on my shot for a moment.
Yeah, please.
All right,
are you chipping to?
Oh!
Ooh.
Watch it.
It's still flying. Look at that. It's a beauty. Where's it? It's a...
The Art Academy.
Yeah. There was a nude modeling class there. Yeah.
That's what you were aiming for.
Yeah, and I got it right in the head.
It went in the bathroom?
Yeah.
Oh, the restroom. Oh, never mind. Yes, Matt, let's get back to sanity here. David is...
Please.
Is this the third pitcher?
A little bit. Yeah.
I'll go ahead and fix up the fourth pitcher because we're done with the third one.
Good boy.
I got a portable generator to power this thing. Go ahead.
All right.
So, where were we?
We'll go back to 1969, 1970. The ratings are through the roof. Everybody in town knows. Everywhere you go, there's the Cool Ghoul. They're interrupting you at dinner. Salespeople are all over you to sell the show. I mean, this is the hottest thing. And then, boom, in 1972, they pull it off the air. What happened?
Metro Media.
Oh, really? They bought it, and it was
Metro Media.
They cleaned shop.
Yeah, well, they did that all across the country.
Well, that was nuts, but you were at your peak. And you evidently, by the requests you get to make personal appearances, you would have gone further.
Well, stop back and think. That's about the time that all local television started to be taken off the air, if you remember.
Right.
And in that decade and on into the 70s. By the 80s, almost all the local television talk shows or entertainment shows were gone.
Replaced with syndicated reruns,
which was Metro Media. They produced All in the Family was their big hit, but they had caverns full of shows, old Ozzie and Harriet reruns,
and they had to use them because they did.
So what they did is got their affiliates or stations they own, like Channel 19, and they just pulled it all off. Larry Smith, bye. Cool Ghoul screaming, bye. Romper Room with Miss Myrna, bye. They just pulled the plug. And within a couple of years, the affiliates here, 5, 9, and 12, they began to say, wait a minute, it worked for them. And then the other shows. Today, all you have is news.
Right.
The kid show that used to be at 19, and the kid show at Star 64. Yeah. There is no live local television talk show or entertainment show.
No, right. News took over. News was...
right.
And at the time, news was relatively inexpensive to produce. No longer is it.
Right.
It's the big chunk of a station's budget.
And now, what's killing most of the stations around the country, that's why I think live television is going to come back eventually. The syndicators, the Metro Media's people like Paramount and all the rest of it, they'd get everybody weaned on this. So they'd give them deals, you buy this package. Remember, it wasn't that many years ago, the WLWT bought the Cosby series for what, $2.4 million?
Oh, it was ridiculous.
And it didn't do what they wanted.
Didn't do anything in syndication, right.
It never led to the news being number one because of whatever was on the other. But you see, once...
That's right, it was an afternoon show. Yeah. They specified. That was before the Oprah Winfrey's and everything else came in and blew them out of the water.
So now, all those stations pulled the plug on their local programming because it was cheaper to just take a big reel, put it up on a machine, and play it and sell it. So they did away with it, except for news.
So did they make more money having those shows on? They did.
Sure, because the programming was cheap. It's no longer cheap.
Well, how expensive was it to put the Ghoul together? I mean, you had one.
I don't know. I wasn't involved.
How many you had? How many camera people?
By the time they paid me my $700 million, No, I had a complimentary pass to the Hawksworth Blood Center. I was one of the first to.
Hey, and let me tee up. Go ahead. I think it's your turn to take a drive.
Shoot for Columbia Parkway. Maybe we can
let me open my eyes. I'm going to open my eyes this time. Let it rip. Here we go.
It didn't even get past the Art Academy.
Not much distance, but a lot of power. That thing was like a bullet.
Yeah, but that inverted tent guy is now no longer inverted.
Station break? All right, go ahead if you want to. I can't have a word to say on this show.
This is WLW Radio in Cincinnati. And the living color, Channel 2 and 8. Channel 4 is the longest. 13 is the channel over in Indianapolis. Indiana? And the whole thing originates live. Channel 5, Cincinnati, Ohio. Yeah.
124 Celebrity Cocktail, starring David Wecker. Today featuring Dick Von Hain, the Cool Ghoul, now TV star in Northern Kentucky.
Host of Northern Kentucky Magazine on Channel 6, TKR Cable in Northern Kentucky.
Right. And the two-man garage band, our producer Chuck Ingram. We're having a great time. We're going until 2 Sports Huddle with Wild Man Walker.
We're having a few pitchers of martinis, and we're driving a few golf balls off the roof here at Mount Jacor.
Listen, I got a call.
It's a beautiful day. It's a little cold, but you got a call?
I got a call during the break from somebody who said that Paul Schaefer is on his way in right now to Channel 9. Wow. He's driving on Columbia Parkway.
He's been doing that weekend gig for a long time there at Channel 9, hasn't he?
Yeah, why don't we send him a little Barbie-gram, if you know what I mean?
All right, is it my turn?
Well, no, I'd like to do this one.
All right, give me the binoculars.
All right, well, if I time this up correctly.
Hey, here's a challenge. $5, you can't knock his glasses off.
Well, I can get in. Well, does he wear glasses?
Not on the air.
Off camera.
Not on the air.
What if I mess his hair up?
Yeah, well, so what? He's got a comb.
I'm going.
And I don't think you can mess up his hair. It's electric.
Which window do you want? I think I can
shoot through the driver's window.
Yeah,
the driver's window. It'll be open. Don't shoot through the windshield. That's malicious. Just knock his glasses off.
All right.
If you want to go through the windshield. Oh, it's right on target. Wait a minute. Right on target. You got him.
And I think I messed his hair up.
Bingo!
What a gruesome sight. It's a good thing the river's up.
And is it?
But it all worked out for the best.
Right, it did. I think he'll still make it. I'm watching through the binocular. He's getting out of his cards. There's a lot of smoke. It looks like a lot of damage to that front fender. And it looks like he's sprinting down the rest of the way toward Channel 9. He's going to go ahead and beat it on foot.
No, I think he's sprinting. I think he's sprinting up here.
I hope not. You didn't use the golf balls that said Backyard BBQ on them, did you?
I've got the Gold Star Chili golf ball.
Oh, good. We can blame them. Yeah. Okay.
All right, Dick Von Hain, where were we?
We were, where were we? Oh,
I don't know.
The early days of Screaming with the Cool Ghoul and all that stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, we just finished talking about when Metro Media came in and took off everything live, and everything went to news. And, and there were still some vestiges. There was still, the Bob Shreve show. There was still a Bob Braun show. Bob Braun was taken off the air about 10 years ago, I guess, wasn't he?
Well, right about then, yeah.
84.
Yeah. But it was much diminished. I mean, there wasn't near... this used to be known as the cradle of television, this market. I mean, every station in town had live shows all day long with Dixon and early morning shows. They had a bowling show. Dennis Holey had a show. On and on and on.
And a lot of these shows were, I'm sorry, Matt, but a lot of these shows were then on the network were seen in New York and across, maybe not across the country.
Some of them, yeah.
Tell me about Paul Dixon. I mean, there's a fascinating guy.
I didn't know Paul well, frankly. I only met him 3 times. And 2 of the 3 times was after his son Greg had died.
Yeah.
And I think that did it for Paul, baby. But I loved him, sure. Oh, heck yeah. He was one of my people I tried to pattern myself.
Bob Shreve.
A dear, sweet man. Sweet. And he's so shy. I was telling you all earlier, it used to pain my heart when I'd run into people because he was so shy. He was such an introverted guy. When he would go out, people would expect him to be the way he was on the past Prime Playhouse. Expected him to be on.
Yeah.
And the general public expects that. Usually of any celebrity, quote unquote, they expect you to do what you do on television out in public. And Bob couldn't do it. And he was so shy. He was scared of people. And some of them would misread him. It would pain my heart because he was just the sweetest man ever lived.
So you're looking into the camera. You're thinking about what? Are you thinking about one person looking at you? Are you thinking about this huge audience watching you? You don't strike me as the kind of a person who gets nervous at that.
Well, it's funny doing radio. I keep looking around for a camera to play to, which is what I do.
The cameras here are all hidden.
Oh, are they? It's a good thing we're all clothed. Yeah. And especially being out on the roof today.
Bill Banger, you remember the Cool Ghoul for crying out loud? Dick Von Hain, ladies and gentlemen.
Bill, welcome.
Bill Banger.
Hey, before you leave, would you sign the barbecue guest registry?
Of course.
All right.
Bill, you like to play golf. Go ahead and take a shot.
Okay.
What do you want your target?
Let's
Nobody's
see.
hit the Celestial yet. Why not?
No. All right. What do they? Who really deserves it?
Yeah. Well, hey, here's what you do: knock a hole in that dish, up Channel 12's dish.
That'd be great. Okay.
All right.
That'd take about a 5-iron. Here we go.
Gosh, you're pretty good. That's a good shot.
Thank you. You got it. Nice shot, Bill.
Cinderella story.
Nice job. Thank you. I hope nobody's hair got messed up.
Oh, Lord.
700 WLW Celebrity Cocktails. David Wecker.
I think we got time for one more pitcher of martinis.
Good.
So here we go. And we just got enough olives and enough baby onions, enough vermouth and enough vodka to make it happen. And we want to talk a little bit. Our guest, of course.
Well, the Cool Ghoul made political statements.
Yeah.
I mean, and you take into account the time period, 69 through 72, and here you were tapping into that
social consciousness.
Yeah.
Vietnam was still hot. It was a very turbulent time, socially, on a social level. And the Ghoul was quite a release. I mean, that's one of the things that made him popular. I got that a lot from collegians and others. The world's going to hell in a handbasket. People are being killed in Vietnam. All the rest of it. But
you're a liberal, aren't
you?
Were you a liberal?
Me or the Ghoul?
Both.
I don't know what he is.
Well, what was your bent? I mean, did you want to make statements at that time?
Sorta.
What were the statements?
Love, peace.
You can't go wrong there.
Yeah.
So wait, you were a conservative guy, but the Ghoul was a liberal. This is your alter ego.
You were the first person to ever ask me that, man. I never thought about it.
Think about it.
The Ghoul was a free spirit. He wasn't. No,
he was. The Ghoul was bipartisan.
Right.
He was neither fish nor foul.
Correct.
All right. Now, you were telling us about, and I know you want to pursue this political line.
All right, go ahead. All right.
But there was a moment you were telling us about off the air in the program. About a highlight for you in the whole the Ghoul lexicon.
Yeah, when we first went on. Cool's trying to be hip, which of course is his charm because the Ghoul wasn't hip, but he thought he was.
Well, he was trying.
That's what So when we first started the show, viewers will recall before the picture went up.
Kind of like our show, right, Dave?
Yeah, this will be immortalized someday. As soon as Schaefer gets up here and beats the snot out of David.
Hey, listen, you drove that ball.
No, you did.
I did?
You did.
By the way, it's time to drive another one pretty soon, isn't it?
It is.
Dick, why don't you take a swing? Why don't, before you do the story, I mean, it looks like... Okay. What do you want?
Give me my 3-wood.
All right.
All right.
And... Nice shot. Not quite the loft that your other ones had. Wow. Beauty. What is that building? That's Good Samaritan Hospital.
Ah.
Gee, you knocked a couple of nuns off on their butts.
No kidding. Well, turnabout's fair play.
Yeah.
I used to say, before a woman could be a nun, I used to say, I believe firmly that this middle finger that you're never supposed to stick up in the air, they would take that and double it over like this. You ever been wrapped in the back of your skull by a nun with the knuckle of her middle finger? Boy. So, good. I nailed two of them, you say?
Yeah, you did. It looks like two.
Boy, your eyes are better than mine.
Well, I got these binoculars. I got the binocs.
Oh, okay.
So what happened?
So we used to have a peace sign up on the set, and I came in one day and the general manager handed me this letter, a nicely written letter from a lady who claimed that's peace sign. Everybody remembers what it looked like.
Let's have some psychedelic music to help you. Come on, go ahead.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. All right. So anyway, she wrote and said that peace sign was a communist symbol of the Antichrist. And that as long as that symbol was on that wall, she was not going to let her children watch Screaming with the Cool Ghoul, right? He said, what are you going to do about it? I said, I'll handle it. So I went back to the art department, and I had Larry Glazer was his name. Larry Glazer, great guy. And I had him make up another sign the same size. Okay, so the whole show is written with Boris, with the ghoul going up and down his ladder, And
he was indecisive. He didn't know what to do.
He couldn't make up his mind on what to do.
No, he was pretty much, but he...
don't you see this man? It's like a symbol of Dick Von Hain, his alter ego. This is a symbol of what was going on with you because you had the ghoul who was a liberal and you're a conservative and you had this inner struggle your entire life, didn't you?
Does he do this every week?
Yes, he does.
All right. At least he doesn't write for a newspaper. Gosh. That would be...
I'll tell you, Matt Reis has an unusual understanding of the human psyche. Please continue.
Now, the ghoul was upset because the woman said she wasn't going to let her two kids watch anymore.
Right.
So so the whole show he's going up and down the ladder. Should he or shouldn't he take it down? And he read the letter, didn't give the person's name, no names.
And Boris
kept saying, oh, don't violate your principles. It's a harmless thing. The children are walking around with a peace symbol on their bicycles for crying out loud. The U.S. Army has tanks in Vietnam with peace symbols, and the soldiers have them on their helmets. And the whole show is shooting and shooting. And at the very end of the show, right, the ghoul goes, no, my friend, if it means, these children can continue to watch this show, this communist symbol, the Antichrist, his peace sign is coming down. He lifts it off, and there's a hammered sickle. Thursday the next week, Doug calls me back, and the general manager and there's another letter from the lady. She's thinking he's going to sue the station, sue the company. How dare you make fun of her point of view?
Well, you never mentioned her.
No, never mentioned her name, He said, what are we going to do about it now? And I said, well, enough's enough. I called her personally. I called her as Dick Von Hain, and within 10 minutes, we were fast friends.
Right.
She understood, and the whole thing blew over.
That's what always happens.
Sure.
You get a bad letter, you call him.
Once she knew that I wasn't a three-headed monster, and I had respect for, and I wasn't a communist. No, once she understood the point of view and the humor, then we became fast friends. Yeah, sure.
And then it developed, and
no, I never met her. I didn't mean we became fast friends.
Well,
but that was
you
the
draw
end.
Inference.
But that was the end of it. But you did kind of lead us to believe that you had some sort of a dalliance with this woman.
Well, there were a lot of women who were interested in you. I want you to save that thought just for a second. We're going to do 2020 Sports with Bill Dennison. Come back and talk a little bit about 700 WLW, Dick Von Hain, Celebrity Cocktail.
Hi, I'm Backyard Barbie. And nothing gets me hotter than an afternoon with David and Matt on the Backyard BBQ from 700 WLW.
Just a few more minutes with Dick Von Hain on Celebrity Cocktails.
We want to thank you, Dick, again for you were able to get a hand free and come on down today, and we really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much.
No, thank you. No.
Thank you. It's kind of fun teeing up out here outside the window.
That's my turn, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, let's look around. Oh, there's Rich. That's who's the guy from Channel 12? Rich Jaffe. There he is. He's coming out of Bat Sacks downtown. He looks like he's got a new cowboy hat down there.
I'd love to.
Nice shot.
Can it carry? Will it carry?
Got him.
Right in the back of the head. Is he okay?
I was aiming.
Holy smokes.
I was aiming for his oinkies.
Going to McAlpin's.
Irv Hoenke?
He'll be fine.
What's a good thing I do?
Yes, don't worry. He'll be fine.
Yeah.
Good thing it didn't ricochet off Stan Aronoff. That would have been terrible.
You know, I think if you hit
That's
Stan
funny you
Aronoff.
mentioned that. I'm looking over at the Art Center.
Oh,
Dick,
yeah.
This is yours. Go ahead. Get
All
him
right,
now.
it's a good 600 yards, but I'll try. I'll try. Here we go.
I think you got him.
Wait a minute.
Let's go.
It's a curving.
You got him right in the head. It bounced off, and he just kept walking. He didn't even feel it.
'Cause of his-
And hit him in the hair.
It's his pompadour, yeah.
Yeah, you hit him right in the hair.
Nice shot. Dick Von Hain, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Listen, I want to take a shot here, and I want to be careful because there's a...
The wind is picked up.
Well, the sheriff's copter's up there, and I want to be careful because sometimes I get a little bit too much lift. So,
Beauty.
It's like one of those Russian airships.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
No. Oh, the humanity. Oh, my.
My God, the humanity just pulled out his magnum. What the hell? Is this guy's name John Phillips or what?
geez, I've got Rich Jaffe mad
He's
at me. I
going
got
after
Paul
groundhogs.
Get the
Oh.
Now I got
Valvoline
the
tanks
Hamilton.
down there on River Road.
You know, we only got a few minutes left, and when the show is over, I'm getting out of here. Okay, now you blew the sheriff's helicopter. I can only hope the sheriff wasn't. I only hope that Bulldog wasn't on that ship when it went down.
Ziggy, why don't you go ahead and take your shot here at the Backyard BBQ
I'd like to
Drive-In
aim
range?
for
Go
the
ahead.
flagpole at the Crew Tower.
So
Teeing
that
up
would be a
there.
heck of a
See
shot.
what happens.
Okay.
But don't hit Norma Rashid.
No.
Don't hit her. She's out on 4th Street at the McAlpins.
That's right.
Here it comes.
It hit her in the coat hanger. Oh, gee.
Was that the back end? Or the front end? Thank you.
Oh, she dropped the big vase.
She was walking with George Vogel.
She dropped that big vase she was carrying.
Shoulder
too.
pad's got a dent in it now. Gee.
That's a shame, but you know that's one of the
What's that,
dangers
Tom
of playing
Burse?
Celebrity Cocktails golf. Sorry, Dick Von Hain.
Ta-da.
Right. You know, this is good. Next time we do this, let's try some other sports too. But golf, I don't know how you could beat golf. Maybe highlight, Celebrity Cocktail Highlight. That'd be good. Or Celebrity Cocktail Hockey.
How about greyhounds? Greyhounds.
Greyhounds would be cool too. We could wager them. Let's get Pete Rose up here.
Yeah.
You think he'd come up on the show sometime?
No.
Okay, Dick, what's next? Are you going to have David on the show there? This is kind of a cross-promotional
now
thing.
see,
I want
now-
you to come on. I want you to be on his show.
I want you to be on.
Oh, you're the star of this
But
show.
it's up to
Well,
him.
you live in Northern Kentucky. It's not me.
It's
You're-
his show.
You are Mr. Northern Kentucky.
I know I am, but
He
it's
is.
his show.
But I'll have both of you or neither of you. You're like
That's fair.
You're like hey, listen.
We're like Rub and Dub.
You're like Kibbles and Bits, only
Really?
different. You're like Kibbles and Bits, only different.
All of
My
you
name
are,
is Johnny Fishbone. I am a psychic.
All of you are nothing at all, David.
Yeah.
And that's the way it's going to be, man. And that's the kind of relationship we have from the beginning.
It's
you and
symbiotic.
me.
Symbiotic.
It's symbiosis. Yeah, it's symbionics.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, ex-bionic or something. Ever since Matt got that prosthesis, it has been symbiotic.
Yeah. Well, I noticed you've kept at least 4 feet between you during the whole hour and a half I've been here, so that's encouraging.
Tell me what you always wanted to do. What did you always want to do, Dick
Make
Von
people
Hain?
laugh. Make people laugh. For the time I was a little kid. Be happy and have great kids, which I have. I have 2 great daughters.
In terms of, with your career, after the show was thrown off the air in '72, what did you do? Why were you making bucks?
I went back to WUBE. I was there for 10 years, from '73 to '83. Then I helped put a state. Then I went to North Carolina and did the show, The Ghoul, down there for 2 years. Helped Jack Reno put on WFKB in Florence. Then I worked at WHKK, and then I hooked on with Store, which is now TKR. And so it's nonstop. This is my 35th year. This year,
In broadcasting.
1966. Yeah.
You did this in the Carolinas?
Mm-hmm. For 2 years. Same thing happened down there. It happened up here. Thing went through the roof. I mean, they just.
I have enough by the producers of this recording.
What the? Listen, this record that you brought up today, you said there were only like 2,400 copies of it.
Yep.
And And this is the only copy you have. And
this is my last copy. Of course, I have the master. I have we could bring it out again if we wanted to. But anybody who has one of those should hang on to them now.
I don't think Chuck knew it was the last one.
Oh boy!
Had Folgers coffee all over it.
That's what we were using to hold the golf ball up, right?
Oh,
sorry about that, Dick.
That's all right.
Sorry.
But they decided to do an album. What was this?
Our promotions manager at the time, he said, "Hey, let's go. Let's do this thing." Plus, we brought out a sweatshirt, T-shirt with Velvet Sheen, and it set a record. I still have the letter at home. We had the Cool Ghoul down at Shillitoe's downtown, and they ran out of those sweatshirts. They had to send a Shillitoe's out to Fairfax at all possible speed to bring more of those darn things down. So when I go around, I come into people or run into people who still have that sweatshirt or T-shirt. And then the album. Occasionally somebody will come up with that album. If you have one of those Cool Ghoul's Phantasmagorical Funky Phonograph. Yeah, if you have one of those, hang on to it, because I guess it'll be worth something someday.
Oh, sure it will be.
Okay.
Well, Dick Von Hain, thanks for coming up today.
Thank you.
Thank you. And the mucklucks.
Dick Von Hain, ladies and gentlemen.
Do you have a disclaimer on here that guests have nothing to do with this program, that anything that was said, done, any windows smashed, any TV anchors who were hit,
or TV anchors,
any sheriff's deputies' helicopters shot down?
We were going to pay you, but now that you
thank you
exposed us.
The coffee cake from Rick's wife was enough.
That really was.
That was a nice touch, and it makes it this is sort of a wintry. We call it the Backyard BBQ, even though we're in the winter season and it's 15 degrees outside, but to bring in a coffee cake like that, it kind of warms the atmosphere.
Rick Schmidt from Gold Star and Bellevue, thanks a lot for all the chili today. We've had a terrific time, and thanks to Chuck Ingram, our producer. And no longer is it a Larry Tate production, but it's a Dick Von Hain production. Is that all right with you, Dick? All right. Well, you want to hit one more?
Let's get ready.
Dick, why don't you hit one more?
All right, here we go. Back up now. I need room here. That hurt.
Oh, it felt good.
Right into the general manager's car. Thank you very much, Dick.
Well,
that's all right.
We'll see you again 6 months from now. We rotate it around. We'll come back in about a half a year.
I say we put him in the Backyard BBQ Hall of Fame.
Every other week.
That's right.
Every other week.
How much time you got?
We're getting out of here now. We're almost out of time.
Can I do the Ghoul real quick?
Go ahead.
Yeah, keep peace and love in your hearts, everybody, and be nice to each other.
If you'd like to join our studio audience, write for tickets to the ticket department, WLW Cincinnati 2. Don Russell speaking.